Hello and welcome back. This is Pat with Cajun Sunshine Crafts, and today we're going to be finishing up this apple blossom that we started a couple days ago. This is part two of two parts, and I'm going to link in the iCard the first part of the video for you to go and watch that one. We'll be using the Wonder Forest paintbrushes, and I have my paper towel, 2 glasses of water. I'm going to be using my Daniel Smith paints and my Strathmore Visual Journal, Strathmore 400 series. I've decided to go ahead and speed up this video because I do realize that time is precious and not everybody has the time to sit and watch an hour-long video. I appreciate that some of you like to watch the videos in real time, but for the sake of time, I've decided to go ahead and speed this up. You could still see pretty much what I'm doing, is just at a faster rate of speed to get through the videos quicker. I was so concerned about the time of the video when I recorded this second part, because I didn't realize the first video was so long that I didn't completely finish the picture, which I want to try to avoid in the future. So I'm either going to have to learn how to work quicker, or we're going to have to just speed these along so the videos don't take as long. Right now what I'm doing is just going in and adding details to the painting. I wasn't happy with the way that the tree branch turned out, so I went ahead and mixed up a mixture of burnt umber and a sepia to make the branch a little bit darker, to add some dimension to the piece, and to give more contrast to the petals and the leaves. So that's what I'm doing now, and I'm not in frame, so there's that. It's been so long since I've recorded a video and had to play it back that I'm still a little rusty at this whole process, and it's gonna just take a little bit of time to get back into the swing of things, but I hope you understand. I had a whole lot of fun doing this piece, and just knowing that I would be able to share the process with you. It's just a special feeling when you know that you can that you're going to be sharing your work with someone else, and that they may just take something away from the process itself. Right here I'm mixing up some more mixture of the paint for the petals, which was a mixture of quin coral and quin rose, quinacridone coral and quinacridone rose, both by Daniel Smith. And I'm just going to go in and add more detail to give a little dimension to the flowers. And this is my favorite part of the process right here, because this is the part I feel that the flowers come alive. And what I'm doing is just adding that color along the edges of the petals that are going to be the darkest, whether they lie under another petal where there'll be shadow, and trying to keep that that pale whiteness of the flower, which it's not going to be completely pale, but you're going to be able to tell that it's right here. I'm just going over the folds of the flower to get rid of the stark white area that was still showing, and it just kind of blends in. I'm just using clean water and the paint that was already, the pigments that was already on the fold, to just kind of blur the white out so it's not so stark, so it sticks out so much. And right here I'm just going in and adding, like I said, more dimension to the flowers, to the petals, using, this is the size 4 Wonder Forest brush, and I can't say enough good about these brushes. They come to such a pointy point. It's like a very pointy point. I love them. You can use a size 10 and it still comes to the point of a size 4 or 6, and that's what I like about them. They hold a lot of water. Very good brushes. I'm gonna see about putting a link down in the description for these brushes. They were on sale not long ago. I'm not sure if they still are now, but even not on sale, they are a very affordable brush for what you get, because the brushes are very good. And I like the aesthetics of them too. It's got a rose words, I tell you, a rose gold ferrule, and like a peachy pink wood handle. And the bristles are very good. It's a synthetic bristle, so it's which I like because it's animal cruelty friendly. And I'm still going in and putting dimension into these flowers. And like I said in my first video, if I had anything to change about how I did this study, I would have used my Etcher sketchbook, which is cotton paper, because it's so much easier to get the look that you're looking for. This paper is not the worst paper to use, but it's still not the same as using the cotton paper. The cotton paper can take so much more handling as far as scrubbing and lifting off. This paper, if you scrub or try to lift off paint, the paper peels so easily. You have to be careful how you work it, and it doesn't work as well with wet on wet processes. Right now I'm just mixing up some more paint, some more of the Quin Rose and the Quin Coral, and the paint is just so vibrant. It looks more vibrant on the video than it does in real life, but the pigments are just so vibrant. It's on that white palette, it just shows. It shows up really well. Right now I'm just using water on my brush, and then I'm gonna go back and pick some pigment up and put it in the base of that flower, those 2 petals. You see those petals had already started to dry, so they're not spreading as good as the one that I'm working on, the first one that I started working on. But once you get used to using this paper and you know how it reacts and responds, it's not bad. But when you go back to cotton paper, it's like, wow. I do a lot of my swatching and practice pieces on this paper, which, in my opinion, to do when you're going to do swatches, you should be swatching on the same paper that you're using to paint on, to get to know exactly how those paints are going to work on the paper that you're using. But the cotton paper can get really expensive, so you just really have to do what's in your budget and what you can afford, because that's what I do. And right here I'm just going and putting in the shadows underneath the petals that are overlapping each other And I'm took the pigment off of my brush and just going back in and pulling out that hard line to make it look like it's a shadow under the petals. And for that, I just used plain water, just water on my brush, and pulled out the pigment. And now we're going to do the buds, which are a whole lot brighter because they are just opening, and you can see more of that pink from the edges of the petals shining through. As the flower opens, the pink shows up more vibrant on the folds of the flower, on the outside edges of the folds of the flower. But when they're still buds, the pink is much more vibrant. And I will be going in and adding some more pink to the folds on the middle flower, I think. It's just to watch these come to life it's wonderful. And right here, I think oh, nope, not yet. I'm going to be mixing up some sepia to darken up that branch a little, to make it look a little bit more dimensional. But we're not finished with the flowers yet. Right here is when I was wishing that was on cotton paper, because if it would have been, I would have worked each petal separately and dropped just that color in the base of those flowers and let it fade out. But on this paper, it's not as easy to do because the paper dries so quickly. I like using that method a lot. And you can see the water. You could see the characteristics of the water in the petals better when you do it that way. And everybody has their preferences. I mean, you do you, boo-boo. I'm always searching online for different types of seeing what types of cotton paper they had out there. A lot of people recommend the B watercolor paper, which I've never tried. And I've looked for, and I've never been able to find it where it was available. Right now, the only B watercolor paper they're showing is in a wire-bound, like a journal type book, and they don't have the larger one. They just have the smaller one. But I'd like to find it, and they used to sell it in the just the sheets, the regular sheets. But I haven't been able to find them on Amazon lately. So I'm not sure if it was discontinued or if it's just out of stock or if it's going to be restocked. Now, I do have a journal that has cotton paper in it. It's recycled cotton paper, and the paper is very thin, but I can watercolor in it, and it doesn't go through the paper, but it makes the paper warp. But as the paper dries, it goes back flat. And I love, love, love that journal, and I love the paper that's in it. Just the texture of the paper, it's like, it looks organic and it acts organic. And when it dries, it has that like crinkly effect, which I really like. And I've painted quite a few pictures in that one. That's another good one. But the paper does it does bend and warp as you're painting. But if you use a heat gun or a hair dryer or whatever type dryer that you have, it immediately goes down back flat once it's dried, because it's so thin, I guess. I got that one on Amazon too. I'm going to see if I can find it and link it in the description below also. I'll go ahead and make me a note so I don't forget to do that too. You can also buy the paper separately. I bought an extra book of paper to fit in that journal once the one that I have is used up, and it's a big old thick journal, so I don't think I'm gonna be filling it up anytime soon. And that goes on sale too. You have to watch the sales on that. All right, I wrote that down so I can remember to do that. And I'm just brightening up the leaves with a mixture of hooker's green and sap green, because the green apatite that I used to put the base color down, I found was too dull, and it had green apatite. It granulates in there. It's a color that separates, and it has a brown tone to it. So I just thought it was too dull looking for the leaves. So adding the hooker's green and sap green mixture on top of the leaves, it still showed, because those colors are transparent, it still showed that texture under the leaves, which it's hard to see on here, but it still showed those textures under the leaves, which made it, in my opinion, look a whole lot better. And now I'm using just plain sepia to add some dimension to the branch. I just put some right on the outside edges of each side of the branch, and then I'm going to come in and soften up those lines, and then adding a little darker tone in the center of the branch, just to make it look like it's rounded. And putting some more texture on the wood. And right there, with just some clean water, I'm going back and taking those harsh lines away from the edges of the branch. As you'll notice towards the end of the video, or at the end of the video, I was so worried about how long the video was, I forgot to even put in the stamens of the flowers. So I did the stamens of the flowers in the background after the video was completed, which I don't want to have to do that. So looks like I'll be either speeding up the videos and doing a talk over like this, or trying to work faster. Okay, and now I think I'm going to switch to my smaller brush. Yeah, I actually end up using a size 0 right there, Princeton Neptune size 0, to go and put some more details on the flowers, on the petals. To make them look a little bit more believable. And that just makes them look like they just come alive even more. If you have anything that you would like to see me paint or try to paint, let me know and I can definitely do that. But I sure had fun with this video. Just adding in the little veins of the flowers. I'm not sure what my next study. There definitely will be a next. If you have any suggestions or preferences, let me know. If you'd like to see the sketching out portion of the paintings, also let me know, and I can do that too. I can also provide sketches of the paintings too. If you would like to follow along, that would be cool also. I'm just going in and adding the lines in the leaves to give those a little more dimension. To make them a little bit more lifelike. It's hard to work on a piece like this, to keep your hand out of the way. Make sure you're in frame so everyone can see. And like I said, I have been working on my drawing skills too. And I do have a long way to go, but it's so fun, especially when you see yourself improving. It's like looking back in my sketchbook from when I first started till now. That's a good thing about having a sketchbook too, because you can go back and look. And now I think I'm going to just fiddle with it. I could probably sit there all day and just add. I have to make myself quit most of the time. And I'm adding a little bit more pink to the folds of the flowers because I thought they were just a little too dull for the rest of the picture, to give it more contrast and liven them up a little bit. And like I said, this is my favorite part, just putting in the details and watching it come to life. I may actually take the next two studies. I think I have two left. I may just take the next two studies and resketch them into my Etcher sketchbook and do them in that one instead. You could see so much better. You're gonna be able to tell so much better how the Etcher paper is so much easier to use. Right now I'm just wetting the petal so I could drop in a little pink on the edges of the petal and let that color just blend into the rest of the petal. And where I messed up right there, I should have went in right away and put the pigment in, because the paper dries so quickly. I'd like to try to do a painting. That's where I'm explaining about my Etcher sketchbook. I wanted to decorate that. I want to try painting on a larger scale also. And that's the first Etcher sketchbook that I decorated with inks. That was fun also. And that is what I finished on screen. And I was freaking out about the time, so I went ahead and finished it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it. Please subscribe. And don't forget to smile and be blessed. Love you guys. Bye.